Hey guys, and welcome to some episode or another of
Eight?
Mysteries of Selindor. This is what you get to expect today. Sleepy Gagnor DM time. Let's go. Actually, how do I get to our channel? I've been trying to get there for like 10 minutes and it just won't load. Oh, there we go.
On Twitch?
All right, I found it. Yeah. All right. Anyways, last time the team went through kind of the ringer. They finished off another statue puzzle, less puzzle, more fight in that particular session. And then they headed outside, grouped up, tried to catch up with the caravan, found that they were being raided by an airship, and like everybody was dead. And this group of bandits were trying to lift a metal cart that the team seems to have ignored the whole way through the caravan, which apparently was very important because it was being stolen. Upon arrival, they tried to subdue and infiltrate and even murder some of them, and they killed one before finding out that they had been betrayed by the two creepy elf folks that were in their little group. Nobody was surprised.
Fucking elves.
Turns out they had some sticky fingers and took Brapsi's fireball beads and let loose after raising the ground away from the group and making it safe for themselves, and they just blew everybody up. As opposed to dying, they all jumped off of the cliff and plummeted down towards the Lurkwood. And they all took level 3 instead of dying, and instead found themselves in cages in a grung encampment. They started their first day as servants, and then they went back to their spot, and they were being picked on by a couple of little adolescent grung folks. When those adolescent grung folks had their necks snapped to the side, and the next thing they knew, there was a all dressed in black grung standing on top of Mitnir's cage, who leaned in and said, "Shh," and then said, "So, how do you feel about a revolution?" And that's where we'll pick up. There is this clad all in black with a long flowing, like unnaturally flowing cape. It's really not windy here, and yet the cape seems to flow as if billowing in the wind. He hops down from the top of Mitnir's cage and turns towards you all. He is about 3 foot tall, like the rest of the grungs, but you can tell he looks a little bit more, I wouldn't say muscular. He's not bulky or beefy, but he does look like lean and like kind of ripped. You can just like see the leg muscles going on in this guy. And you can recognize Seti, that he has your dagger.
Hey, that's mine.
It's come in handy.
They stole it from me. I stole it from a statue.
So he walks up and sort of judges you all, looking through him. You can see like his eyes are behind there, and like all it is just pure black except for the eyes, the little like sideways sort of pupils. Just like I said, how do you feel about revolution?
Pretty good. If I can get my stuff back.
If it gets me out of these damn chains, I'm down.
Oh, I had found some metal to like try to lockpick my manacles off. Can I be doing that, or have already done it?
You can try and make a roll.
Yeet. Thieves' tools, where did you go? Well, it's not thieves' tools, I guess. Is it just straight dexterity since it's not a thieves' tool, or does this count as a thieves' tool because it's a lockpick?
Call it a thieves' tool. It's still like lockpick.
24.
24? Yeah, you. pull them off. They weren't even. You found as you go and take this little sharp, like sort of pointed piece of metal. It's like basically a shiv, and try to look for a lock. You don't find a locking mechanism on it. You see that there's like this band and that there's some runes on it. But then as you get underneath, you actually find yourself able to sort of separate right at the base where it connects to your wrist. It looks like there's almost like suction cups underneath it that you're just able to sever and pull it off of your skin, just barely without cutting yourself. When you do that, it lets go and pulls itself off.
Good.
You look underneath and it turns out it's actually organic, whatever's inside this thing. And it's like using this bracelet as a shell.
Oh, that's weird.
Mm.
Sorry, I didn't mean to hurt you if that's what I just did, but I needed to get you off of me, so... And I'm just gonna drop him at the bottom of my cage.
So the grug's still standing there billowing, and he says, "Impressive."
Yeah, if no, I don't think I can let the cage out, but if maybe you could open the cage, then I can do some more impressive things.
Let's talk first.
Ugh, really? I'm standing here wearing like a potato sack.
He just looks around at the rest of you, and he's just like, I mean, you're working it.
Grong do not have good fashion sense, apparently. Alright, what do you want to talk about?
Well, you've got a choice here. I've been watching you since you came in. I saw some pretty impressive things, even though, well, you were quickly subdued. And he's looking over at Arn. Even with the dampeners, being able to put out that much power. Very interesting. Not to mention, you already tried to influence the curtains of this town. So, not bad. Thing is, this place needs to change. Question is, do you want to help? Or I could just let you go now. It's what I've done with all the rest of the slaves that turn up.
But not all of them.
As many as I could.
Do you know where our things are?
I can guarantee that if this revolution goes according to plan, all your things will be returned to you, including this. And he taps the knife.
Alright, what do you want from us?
Well, I'm just one grung. I can only do so much. Influence is where I fall short.
You think we might
Well, I do have the
influence?
prince's ear.
Wait,
That's
what?
one of my targets.
The prince is one of your targets?
Not to kill, to turn.
I don't think turning will be that difficult. He doesn't agree with the way things are run here.
But he's the prince. Why can't he just like wave his hands and change it or something? Isn't that what princes do? Or is there
Well,
is there a king?
He's not the king. He's just the prince.
So the king.
Be aware, calling him a king here might get you slapped around. He's called a sovereign. And if you're addressing him, you call him your grungship. But, of course, he doesn't speak common, which leads us to our first little bit here. And he reaches back behind his back really quickly, and he produces a small wooden box. And he says, stick these in your ear, and you'll speak our tongue. And he opens it up, and they look like slugs.
Oh no.
You want me to put a slug
This is some Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy
in
bullshit. I don't
my
like it.
ear?
It's a completely symbiotic relationship.
Is he going to like read my thoughts or anything? And that's how and then like.
I don't know that much about it. I just know that it lets you speak grung.
Do you have one?
No, I'm a grung.
Can I get it out later?
I mean, sure, but he's a friendly little guy. Check him out. He just waves his finger, and the little slug just goes.
Realistically, probably not the worst thing I've had in my head.
Oh boy. I don't know if I want to know that story or not, but all right, get it over with if that's it. If that's what it takes to get out of here.
He hands you the box, or he just like offers for you each to take one of these little things. You can go ahead and put it in
the
your.
cutest slug.
Make an insight check.
Cool.
Gets one, just looks at. If you try to eat my brain, I will
A
kill you.
7.
Yeah.
Yeah. You pick up a slug that looks cute because it's like colorful, where the rest of them are sort of like a dull green color. This one's like nice and colorful. And you pick it up, and you're about to put it in. You're just like, wait, no, that's not a speaker grub. No. Who? And he pulls it away from you. And says, "That's incredibly poisonous, and will eat your brain." And he just throws it to the side. Don't know how that got in there.
Well, that's
That's
heartening.
reassuring.
Yes.
Why
Sorry.
would those be in the same box?
Hold it up next to my ear.
You hold it up next to your ear. It's going. Trying to stretch out towards your ear.
Do I have to? Oh gosh. Okay. And I try to push it in.
As you put it like to the point where it can kind of reach, it goes, and it just sort of starts curling up, and it doesn't go into your ear.
It's
It
like an
actually
earbud.
It curls up inside like an earbud, yeah, and it just sort of hangs out there. And you can feel when you first put it in, like a lot of movement going on there, and your ears feel really clean, like really clean.
That's weird. I don't like it.
It's like the worst ASMR ever.
Yeah, my ear feels really weird now.
Yeah, it's just like.
Just look at it. Just waiting for any sort of like, does she fall over dead?
Yeah. Are you dead, Seti?
No, I'm not dead, and I don't think I'm dying. And that's dying is a
So-
weird feeling in your ear.
So the grung said. So as you do that, you guys hear, and he just says, "So now you speak grung."
Do I only speak grung? Oh no.
No, you just understand it like it's grung. Like it's weird how it comes out. You hear in one ear and in the other ear you hear, "So now you speak grung."
Okay, he's like translating in my ear.
Yeah.
So we can understand it, but we can't speak
But
it.
yeah, what about me speaking it?
Oh, don't worry. It's tapped in to some weird places. It's fine. You can speak grung too.
Okay. Right.
Weird.
Well, that's done. So you want us to try to talk to people to get the revolution going because you don't
He
have...
looks left and right. He says, "The guards will return soon." And he takes the bodies and he pushes them under the water. And he starts sinking under the water himself. And he just says, "Just stay with your business. I'll get you moved out of the cages for tomorrow. Then you can work on the servants as well." And as he gets like really low, he's just going further and further down. Like he's not even moving. He just seems to just be sinking. And as he goes further down, he says, "Find everyone you can. Look for influential people. Talk if you might, but at least take information." And as his head's at the bottom, you hear him sort of like bubbling, and he's just like, "But stay cautious. And don't look for..." And he disappears.
I don't know how I feel about any of this. And like, I mean... Fuck. I have my manacles off now, but I'm still in this stupid cage.
But is he a revolution of one?
I mean, I could get you out of the cage, but it might draw attention.
Right, so like, should I put my manacles back on now? Because... I mean, what the fuck?
Maybe just, poke the, make sure that they don't actually attach, right? Just like handcuffs that don't fit.
You can see that it's kind of like it's definitely like a weird, like grubby thing with like suckers on it. It's kind of like a leech with a shell. So you kind of cut its mouth off.
Oh. Is it dead?
It's not happy.
Can you remove it from the shackle?
I mean, that's how the shackles stay closed.
You can certainly try to take it off the shackle.
I
Or take it
don't-
off the.
I mean, isn't it? It is the shackle, right? It's like
It's inside it, yeah.
so. The shackle is like its shell. And
Yeah,
take it
and
out,
so
it will probably
it
die.
sort of like bends and stuff. As you like pull it, you kind of like you can see that it's almost like little armor sheets that kind of you can sort of shape it. And the runes are just sort of carved onto its shell.
I think she just
Question.
stands there holding it, trying to figure out.
Is this nighttime or morning?
Middle of the night. This is after you guys' first day on the job.
Okay.
And
How,
a few
how
minutes
far-
after he leaves, you can see the Grunk soldiers like checking to see that when they come back. And they're like, "Oh, thank God! I really hate those kids." It's like, yeah, they pretty much suck, man.
What's the distance between each cage again?
About 5 to 10 feet, depending on the angle and who you're talking about. They're not like in a row; they're kind of jumbled. So, like the closest one to you would probably be Mitnir, and then like he's like 5 feet away from you. But then like to the back and a little further is Bropsy's cage, and she's like 10 feet away from you.
Is it possible for us to each like reach each other? Not all at the same time or anything, but like if I was gonna try to pass out some of this food, could I get it to everybody?
I mean, yeah, sure, you could probably make that work.
Like pass some to Mitnir, then he passes some to whoever, and they pass it to the next person, type of thing.
Yeah. Do you want to keep this from the guards, or are you just gonna let them see that you're passing food around?
Oh no, I'm gonna wait till they're gone or whatever.
They're just chilling there. I guess now that you guys can speak Grug, you hear one of them just be like, "Man, I hate night duty. Sucks so much. Oh, I just want to go get a drink, eat some flies. God, so rough." And the other one says, "Yeah, man, it's pretty much the worst. But hey, it's a living."
Yeah, I can wait till morning if I need to.
Sure. Yeah,
Shift change or something.
they're just chilling there though. So, do you guys want to do anything with the rest of your night, or?
I mean, I guess we could try to talk to the guards and be like, "Hey, so what do you think about all of this? Like, what's your life like? Are you happy here?"
Are you talking to them?
Yeah, I'll try.
Oh, so you're talking to them, and you try to say all that stuff, but with the intent of speaking to them, you feel your tongue just kind of moves weirdly on its own, just goes, and you start speaking Grung. It's a little jarring at first because your tongue is not used to moving this way, but as you start talking, they turn around and they're like, "Holy shit! When did you learn Grung? Holy crap! That's crazy!"
Oh, I learned quickly. I mean, I had all day to talk to people and, like, you know.
Well, that's really cool. Wow. Hi.
Hi, I'm Seti.
Oh, nice to meet you. What's his name?
But then this is
He sounds like a Carl.
This is Grid and Brapsi and Aaron and Mitnir.
Oh, my name's Prudgy.
Prudgy, that's a really cool name.
This is Mitt.
Hi, Mitt.
Yeah, I'm Mitt.
So, you know, I mean, we're up, there's nothing happening, and you guys seem pretty bored, so I thought maybe we could
yeah, it's
talk.
the worst. We never get to talk to slaves. You guys are really interesting. Wow. Yeah. Usually they just stare at us and then look really depressed when we feed them poison all day.
Yeah, people don't like being fed poison. It's not good for them.
You're not supposed to tell them we feed them poison. That's
oh no, we all already know. We feel terrible. I felt awful all day.
It tastes pretty bad too.
Yeah, it comes from our skin. We're all poisonous, huh?
Why is that just like it's super cheap and so you don't have to go to any effort of like making real food or something? I mean, what do you guys eat? Flies and just bugs?
You see, he reaches over and he just like sticks his hand and grabs Pudgy's thumb. Pudgy's like, oh! And he's like, "Look, we're really not supposed to talk about this kind of stuff. So,
I mean, it's okay. We already knew. It's fine.
Make a persuasion check."
Don't fail me now. 13.
13. He's like, all right, look. I mean, yeah, you guys know it's poison. I guess what can it hurt? It's really just for like subduing the masses. You know what I mean?
I figured.
Like-
It doesn't make sense. It's really smart, I guess. As long as you
Yeah, I
don't
mean,
mind people being too sick to like
as long as
actually
you
do
guys
good
are-
work.
I'm not gonna lie, they wear through slaves like really fast. Yeah, it's crazy. Like, can you look on my thumb? Yo, sorry. Yeah, it's crazy. It just like it only takes like a month, and then these slaves that come in all vibrant and happy, they all like end up really pathetic after just like a couple of months.
You know, if you treat people really nicely and make sure they're healthy and happy and stuff, then everybody's happy and people do better work and like.
I mean, I suspect that they're not even doing it on purpose. I think it's just because our hands are poisoned and we're touching all the food.
Oh.
That makes
I think
sense.
it's just cross-contamination. It's not cross-contamination, it's a ploy. I'm not sure about that. I don't think most grungs are that smart. And then they start arguing with each other about grung intelligence and...
Well. Hmm. I don't know everybody else. Like, what should we? I mean, they're guards. Like, I mean,
Do they like their job?
What color are these skirts? Are they red?
Both green.
Great. Do you guys enjoy your lot in life? Do you enjoy being on the night watch all the time?
No, man, the night watch sucks. But, you know, like I said, it's a living.
There are better livings out there. There are many places where this kind of system that you all have going on here just doesn't exist anymore.
But I'm a green grung, so...
out there that doesn't matter. People are all different kinds of colors and stuff, and like nobody cares. It's really cool.
I'm
Well,
purple.
I mean, that's cool. Like, you're definitely, like, if you were grung, you'd be, like, way up there.
That's not the point. I'm purple, but that doesn't mean that I'm above or
And you're
below
real
the
tall. That
pink one.
kind of means that you're below all of us. Tall people are really stupid and easy to capture. He's right. They're super easy to capture.
But didn't you just say that grungs weren't very smart?
Oh, yeah, but we're smarter than stupid tall people.
What's
So
2 plus 2?
What are you talking about? What's a plus?
Yep. Alright.
Yeah, showed him.
I guess they don't need math. I mean, why would you?
Just keep track of how many prisoners are in the cages.
I don't think they care. Hey, maybe one of us could just like disappear and they wouldn't even notice. They can't
That's
count.
what I was thinking.
Yeah. I'll have to keep that in mind.
So, anyways, so this bird one, since you can all talk to us now, what was it like in the higher trees? We've never been up there before. I think you, Gould Guy, you went up there too, right? Was it nice?
You mean the palace?
You went to the palace? Holy shitballs!
I did.
I just saw you go up into the treetops. I thought maybe you were just going to be a servant to one of the higher ups, not the fucking grung ship. Holy cow! What's a cow?
If he works for the prince, does that put him above you guys?
Oh man, hold up. Yeah, we got to do the math. All right, so we've got
What's
grung servant top one big one. Yeah, I don't know. I think probably if you hit me, they'll say that's cool. But if I hit you, I'll probably get in trouble. You're probably more important than me.
Well, I don't want to hit you.
I hit you with a hammer earlier today, so it's probably fair turn.
That's all right.
Yeah, there was a lot of us hitting you with a hammer. It was kind of fun. It's like, just, You know.
I don't like these guys. I don't.
You just said you don't like them.
Not in Grung.
Just come up to them like, "Hey, boys, you like communism?"
I was gonna go the opposite direction, be like, "Have you heard of money? It's great."
Communism? What's communism?
Oopsie calls me Red. I have to live up to the name.
Yeah, what's communism? Is that some sort of that's some sort of like meat? I like
Sure.
meat.
Imagine if you had all the meat you wanted, but you shared it with other people, and everybody had good meat instead of people having to eat crap because they're not important enough.
They both look at each other and look back at you. That's really stupid.
Why?
Why would I share meat?
Because there's plenty to go around and everybody can have some.
Because then when you don't have meat, they share with you.
Right?
But then, when I share with them, I have less meat. Well, hold up. But if they share with me when I don't have meat, I have more meat?
Mm-hmm. It just makes it so there's always meat.
But where does the meat come from?
Cows.
The hell is a cow?
It's made of meat.
Oh my god, we gotta get some of these cows, Mitt! Yeah, you're right, man. Let's get some cows. Hey, where do we get cows? I don't know about communism, but I want something that's made of meat.
They're all over the place outside of here.
Here, fish might be more readily available.
But fish aren't huge, giant meat monsters.
Depends on the fish.
I
actually.
don't know. I've
Well,
heard
okay.
stories about like
Wait, you guys eat fish? I mean, fish are they're like pets, man. Look. Kipper! Come on, Kipper! You see a fish just pull up out of the water for a second. Ah, so cute.
now you just put that over the fire and just cook it on up. And
Whoa, you guys are fucking sick! No way!
Don't you guys eat people sometimes?
Yeah, when they go bad. I mean, not like when they go bad, but when they're like, blah.
Why would fish be any different?
Ah, fish are cool, man. Look how cute they are.
They
Kipper!
don't work for you though.
Bloop. Oh, man, you see that?
Okay, so back onto the cows. We can get you guys some cows. But only if you're like nice to us and stuff. Like we're not going to do you any favors unless we also are done favors. So like it would be really cool to have some food that isn't poison, for example.
Make a persuasion check.
23.
23. Oh, I mean, yeah, now that you know it's poison, I feel like it's pointless for us to try to fool you. I mean, like, I don't know how I'm going to get it to you without poisoning it. Like I said, cross-contamination, man.
There's a
No,
thing
just-
called gloves. You put on something that covers your hand, but not so much that you can't use your fingers.
or-
They hold
I
up
was
their
wearing. I was.
their three-fingered, like, super sticky-fingered hand things, and they just go, why would you do that? It's really hard to climb shit.
or
Well, you
just
only wear it while
skewer
you're
it.
not climbing. It's just when you're preparing food that other people need to eat.
It seems like an unnecessary step.
It's just a little tiny thing to do to make it so other people don't get sick. It's really nice. And it makes other people happy so that they may be more inclined to make you happy too.
Grungs don't wear masks in Walmart.
No, they don't.
Sorry.
Wait, so you're like, I mean, like, we could get you some stuff, like, but I can get you some flies. I can't really share meat. I can share like lots of bugs and shit. You guys want some of that?
I mean, it depends.
They're good.
If they're not like poisonous, I would rather eat those than be poisoned.
How about one of your fish friends?
I think we're fine until the morning.
Easy for you to say. I don't know why you
That's-
work for the
We're all
prince.
talking over the bird. I want to hear the bird. Oh, that's cool. You're just like a fish.
My God.
You guys see that? You hear that noise? Wow, it's better than a poop.
Seppi, don't worry about it. I can take care of you.
Okay.
All right, that was less entertaining than the whistle.
I do a bird
Yeah.
whistle.
Toy.
Oh shit, you can do it too! Wow, these guys are really great. Let's get them some food, Mitt.
Mitnir just like hits his head against the bars.
I kind of wish we couldn't understand the grunt.
Some top class entertainment, man. Yeah. Let's go get them some food. Oh my god, we should get them something really crunchy. Ooh, like a caterpillar.
You know,
Those
crickets
are
are not
seriously-
too bad if you have crickets.
What's a cricket?
Okay, I'm triggered now. Thanks.
Sorry.
So they disappear. They just stop guarding you.
Hey,
Just
they're gone.
disappeared.
All right, well, some mission accomplished. I don't know what, but they're gone now. We are not guarded. So how's everybody doing?
I guess now's a good time to pass out this non-poison food that I got from the prince.
What kind of
Oh,
food do
thank
you
God.
have?
What did he give me? I think it was bread or something.
How do they make bread if they don't? I mean,
Hey, it's
They
the
have one of us
royalty.
make the bread.
I
obviously.
can make the good berries.
No, you can't.
Why
no,
not?
Spells
the
can't
manacles are
work.
anti-magic.
Oh right. I
He's
forgot about
Speaking
that.
of, how far is SETI from me?
You're muted, Gagnor.
Oh, I don't even know how that happened. Setting for me is about 10 feet.
That what was it that the prince gave me? Was it bread?
Oh yeah, did you open it up and look inside?
I am now that the guards are gone.
Yeah, okay. So you open up the wrappings and you look inside, and it looks like sashimi, but you're not sure what it's made out of. It doesn't really smell like fish. But because you feel like fish that you would see here, like that were got from a
Give me
swamp.
a few levels. I'll cast Identify on it.
If you can get these manacles off, I could do the same.
Is it
Just
lemon
Just
spread?
try it. It
No,
won't
I mean,
kill
it's,
you.
it's definitely something fleshy, but it's like it looks like really clean and colorful.
I'll try a bit.
It almost looks like a caterpillar roll.
Man,
Alright,
now
I'm
I
gonna
want
try-
You can
sushi.
wrap
I
into
know,
bird.
making us all hungry now.
I'll try
Sweet.
it.
All right, you try it.
Yep.
Okay. Take a bite. That's a flavor. There is some sort of umami to it, but then a little bit of bitterness, but it's still got like a slimy, sort of like salty flavor to it. It's not bad, but it's not something you've ever eaten before.
It's probably better than what we had earlier.
It's just escargot.
But after I eat a little bit, I'll reach through the cage to Mitnir to give him some. Well, I'll give it all to him, and then he can have some and pass it on.
Yeah, I mean, it tastes fine, and it's definitely not poisoned. You can tell.
Because we're not making constitution checks.
Just take like a little helping, pass it on,
No,
but just
you're
like
not biting it and going.
not even gonna
Uh,
chew. Mitnir's just gonna go and just down the hatch.
You know what? It slides in really easy. Like, just really like just goes straight past your esophagus into your stomach, just like.
It's like Jello.
Yeah.
If I stick my arms through the cage, would SETI be able to like reach the manacles?
I
I
mean,
don't know how 10 feet work
Yeah,
in
we're-
the
make an athletics check and see if you guys can.
Oh
Do-
gosh.
Do we all have
How
these manacles on?
elastic are your arms?
Yeah, you all
Yeah.
have the manacles on.
10
even you.
feet, sounds like a big stretch.
That's fair. Oh wow.
What'd you roll?
17.
I got 17. I
Yeah,
really
so
want these damn manacles.
You guys, you start reaching out through the cage and like trying to like get through with the thing, and as you do, you watch as they kind of
Oh,
like the bones that are holding it kind of like part a little bit and open up, like an accordion, and it just opens up, and you just fall out of the cage.
Oh.
And
Well-
here I thought what Mitnir did was super impressive. Well,
Hey!
Well, now I can maybe reach easier if you come over here.
sure. Did you want out of your cage?
Oh yeah, that would be great.
I just knock over the deadbolt or whatever Orin did earlier.
Oh yeah, if you're gonna remove the whole thing, you watch it just goes like whoosh, and just like flies out and falls to the ground.
Hey. Wow, this is a feeling, isn't it? Here you go. Let's do a 16 to get these manacles off.
The 16. So you get your tool underneath, and you find the same little like hook it around because you knew what you're doing the first time, and you feel it cut through, and you pull.
I take
You
30
take
points of damage.
3 points of slashing damage as
Oops,
she
sorry.
cuts your skin instead of the thing, and sort
Ow!
of like lops a little section of flesh off.
Sorry, it's like
And
really
it's really
finicky.
unpleasant because it's not a sharp blade.
Oh no, I'm so sorry.
That-
And,
Okay.
mm,
But it
just-
happens really quick because she's got it hooked, and then she just goes.
So the manacles are not off.
No, the manacle's off.
Oh,
but
they're off.
so-
Okay.
So's the chunk of flesh that was.
Sorry. It's like
Still
a
attached to the thing's lips.
yeah. I mean, it's a thing that like sucks and like latches on you, and like I tried really hard, but I also didn't want to cut off its mouth like I did on mine. I should just stop worrying about the weird little squishy thing that takes away our magic. I'm sorry. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. You're good.
Okay.
Thanks,
Sorry.
Greed, come here for a moment.
Walk over to Orin.
I'll put my hand over where you just got cut and use my healing hands to heal you for 3.
Oh.
So he puts his hand over your flesh, and then he removes it, and it's gone.
There is a lot more to you than a man clad in all black. And I flick out the bolt to his cage so that he can get out.
So yeah, there's something you guys are noticing for the first time since I don't think he's mentioned this or even noticed it himself really. But as you're walking around, there's a book just like hovering. And
Oh, me.
floating. Yeah. There's a book just hovering and floating around with him. You don't really have a place to hide it or conceal it or put it. So as you walk, it just sort of hovers behind you.
I mean, I'm basically glowing constantly, so
Not
I'm
the
kind of
weirdest
used
thing
to
you've seen.
things.
Yeah, right.
I
Weird
feel like the
stuff.
stealthy one.
And
Yeah.
is Mitnir just like strapped to the bottom of his cage since he broke
No,
it?
I'm in a. They reinforced my
They
cage.
reinforced his cage.
Oh,
Probably not well enough to even begin to keep him in it, but
You could probably just break it again.
that's fair. But just in case we need to clamber back in, and I'm gonna get Mitnir and Bropsy out of theirs too.
okay, how you doing that?
Is there not like the little latch thing under it?
Oh, like out of the cage?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
And once people are out of the cage, I will attempt to do their manacles.
Yeah, I'm not messing with the manacles. I'm just getting them out.
So that's a 23 for Arin's manacles.
I feel like we're gonna get caught.
Yep, Arn's out of his manacles.
A 14 for Mitnir's.
Can I keep an eye out to see if anyone's coming back?
Yeah, make a perception check.
I'm great at those. 14?
25 for Propsy.
Yeah, you get them all off. Some of them are a bit worse for wear. Specifically, Mitnir, you cut him for 2 points of slashing damage,
You'll be fine.
but they come off pretty easy. Now that you know what you're doing, and yeah, with a 14, you see those two grung are coming back with some food, and they're like pushing each other in the street, just like they kind of look excited. And then
Oh, shoot.
they come back around the corner, like pretty much right as you see them, and they just go, "Oh fuck, man!
I make a cool bird sound.
What? Oh, guys, that's really not cool.
Is
I
there
thought we
like
were
a
getting
raised
along.
spot that's more dry than where the cages are?
Yeah, I mean, outside, like you guys are kind of just above water, but like where they're walking, it's earth. Like it's like there's dips into the swamp, and then there's earth where a lot of the stuff is built. The buildings are mostly on stilts, the ones that aren't in the trees themselves. But yeah, they come in and they look more just like downtrodden than like upset. They're just like or than like ready to. They're not like ready to arrest you. They don't even have weapons. They're just holding food and they're like. He's got like leaves stuck on his tips of his fingers,
Oh.
like, and he's holding food, and he's like, "Oh man, well now
I'll
we're gonna
just
get
look at them and be
killed."
like,
No, he's
don't worry about it. The prince is fine with it.
No, but you see, if you're not in your cage, then like, we're gonna get killed.
No, why would they
Also,
kill you for
Cage
this?
wasn't
This
doing
isn't your
much.
fault.
I can't force you guys back in. Look how strong the blue guy is.
Look, I promise we'll be back in before somebody comes in the morning, alright? It's so uncomfortable in there. We can't sleep, and if we can't sleep, we can't work. And
Also, Cleary's been asleep this entire time. He's just like
I
completely
forgot
passed
about
out
Cleary.
in the cage. In the cage behind, he just never woke up at all. He got back from his arting and then literally
Super
went to
tired.
bed. And you guys, yeah.
His soul is crushed. He didn't
Okay.
want to wake
I'm
up.
just gonna go sit down on like the solid ground and just motion to them like food.
Well,
Make a persuasion check for them to be okay with you guys not being in your cage, which was their one job. Was to keep you.
But okay.
Wait, did you roll a natural 20?
you sure
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, he did.
I didn't even open up the thing yet. That's whatever. He's just like, you know what? They're gonna kill us anyways. We might as well have a good picnic. It's like,
It's
yeah.
going to be so much fun.
Yeah,
and,
you're right.
You know, it'll be totally fine.
So they
We're all
sit
friends
down
now.
and they hand you some actual meat. They brought you some meat, not cooked.
Oh.
It's raw meat. You can't tell what it's from, but it's really stiff looking. Like it's like a really sinewy looking muscle cuts.
Nick,
If I were to blast it with a radiant bolt, would that cook it at all?
Make an intelligence check.
Nat 20 for
Damn,
23.
3 in a
Jesus.
row.
3 in a row?
Holy shit!
You know what?
Well,
You're
we're
pretty
fucked
sure that it
now.
would just put a hole in it or tenderize it really well. It's a lot of force, a lot of radiance, but it's not enough. It's not like heat. It's not so much fire and heat as it is like it would just like be like kind of like hitting it with a laser, you know, as opposed to
Yeah,
hitting it
only
with
if I had those fireballs.
instead of hitting it with like even if you hit it with like a fire spell, you think it would probably just like put a hole in
I
it or
was just
fuck it
making
up.
a joke, guys.
Oh. Sorry.
Can I not do that?
No, you can't.
I was just talking about no. You
Well,
decide whether your
fireball,
natural
you
20 intelligence
gag.
will work.
Well, thank you guys so much for bringing this. It really means a lot. Like, you're my favorite people now. And, like,
We're not people, we're grungs.
Grungs. Well, yes.
Dead grungs. Dead grungs.
No.
You don't have to be. You know that, right?
No, if you guys are out of your cages in the morning or when anybody walks by, yeah, we'll die. They'll kill us.
What if we put you in the cage?
Oh, they'll kill us for sure. We won't even be able to run.
What
you
if
can
we
try to.
killed anyone else that saw us?
Oh man, that seems like it's gonna be like real bad. You're gonna murder our whole village so we can survive?
Okay, okay.
No.
That's what
Might
friends
need to
do
see
for
That
friends,
sounds
okay?
pretty good, I guess. I don't want to die.
Stuff.
You know how
What?
you...
I didn't hear you. I didn't hear you, Nikita.
Wait, what did Seti say?
No,
I don't know.
I haven't started yet.
Nobody said.
Oh, okay. I'm just saying we should go back in the cages. We've got the manacles off. Like, go back and lie low.
Yeah, we can. I mean,
That would be really cool because I'm looking at you guys. You look pretty buff. I saw lasers shoot out of that guy's hand. You're a bird. Like, if you try to fly, I can only jump so high.
Here's the deal. We go back in the cage, and you get some of our stuff.
Right.
Oh, yeah, your stuff. Yeah, I'm actually technically the leader of the guard. So yeah, I know where your stuff's locked up.
That's super
really
helpful.
cool.
Like
That's the deal, right? That's the deal. We go
Yeah,
in.
but if they find you with your stuff, I'm still gonna get killed.
oh no, I just wanted to know where it is. Like if you could just tell us where it is,
Oh,
then that would be like a
most
huge
of your really
weight
fancy stuff,
off of our shoulders.
like your rocks that were shaped like people, your fancy swords and knives and things that were all glowy and woo 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 magic stuff. That all went to the highborn grungs as gifts.
Up in the palace.
Do you
Yeah,
know
so
which highborn got each item?
the only one I know for sure is Grumley. He got a big sword. He hangs out down here so that he can hit on all the prettier grungs. That's why none of them can look at us, cause not when they've got Grumley around. You know that Grumley is the one that is obsessed with Bropsy.
I was just gonna ask.
And he has the sword of sharpness. Other than that, I don't know. Most of them are gifts, but I've got like all your like climbing supplies all in a pile, and your torches and other shit we just don't use as grung.
Like what about my clothes?
Oh yeah, those are sitting in a big old pile. We use those and cut them up when rich people want clothes, but it takes time. So right now they haven't been cut up yet.
And where is this big pile?
Oh yeah, I've got it under lock and key. See, right here. Oh fuck, where are my keys?
I had a piece of paper in my backpack rolled up and tied off. Do you know where that went?
I mean, if it's something stupid like paper, it's probably just in a pile.
Gotcha.
And the pile is just like put like a weight off our shoulders, so we're not
okay,
worried.
I guess if I was gonna point it out, it would be about 2 blocks down that way, and then around. There's just like this at the base of a tree. There's a hollowed out, and you go underneath, and that's where it is. And there's a lock that we put on there that we got from a couple of other people that we killed. I mean, that died on natural causes.
Yeah, of course.
Naturally poison causes, yep.
Natural grung causes.
And then there's an iron gate that was made by the blue grung.
Oh, that's really cool. Iron Gate is really impressive. I would let you see it someday.
Yeah, especially for being under a tree.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's like amazing.
Income. Iron gate on wood tree.
Yeah, but the tree's harder than the iron.
That was in common.
Oh.
Well,
anyways,
look, thank you so much for the food and like the conversation and stuff. Like it really just helps so much. And we're going to get back in our cages now, and nobody will ever know. And you'll be totally
that's great.
fine.
I'm sure some people already saw, but I think I can convince them it was all an illusion.
I mean, yeah. Why would we get back in our cages? That's just stupid. Then nobody
Just
would
blame the
believe.
purple one.
Yeah, that guy over there. He points to Greed.
Great.
We'll just blame that guy for some reason.
I mean, he's got the floaty book and all. Like,
yeah, we were trying to take that earlier. What's the fucking deal?
Honestly, no fucking idea. If you could just not try to take the book anymore, that'd be prime.
I mean, I don't know what prime means, but
He's a number.
oh, we're talking about math again? Oh, all right.
And
I
if you
know 1 and I know 2. And after that, it gets a little hairy.
I climb back up in my
Can I
cage.
count to 10 in 5 languages?
I can't count to 10 in any languages.
It wasn't.
If you can get me that piece of paper that's in that pile, it'd be greatly appreciated. I guess I go clamber back into my cage.
Make a persuasion check on me.
Nat
Wait,
20.
how-
Come on. Come on.
How tall are they?
Wow, roll 20 might be
Was it-
broken.
was it-
Holy
no,
shit!
they're nat
So
20?
dead.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I'll go get it right now. You guys are the best. I don't know why, but we're getting along great.
How tall are they?
They're about 3 feet tall.
Okay, before I went back in my cage, I wanted to take my wings and pat them on the head.
Wing
Why
pat.
are you touching me?
Slowly.
Make an animal handling check. And tell me what the number is because I don't have it pulled up and I'm really lazy.
Oh.
Oh.
You
Aw.
broke the
Nat 20,
streak,
that's
Red.
fine. I know. Why did I bother? I was trying to be nice.
Wait, what did you
I'm trying
roll
to-
though?
I rolled an 11.
At 11? He's just like, look, I've never been touched without being hit before, so if you're gonna hit me,
I'm not hitting you.
know that I bite.
This is a thank you.
I don't have any meat.
I'm not asking for things. I'm thanking you.
No, when people thank you, they give you meat.
They get what?
Do we have any of the fancy meat left?
I'm confused. I'm gonna go get that paper. And he leaps.
I'm just gonna stop RPing then.
Oh.
He just couldn't handle it. He didn't know what was happening.
Okay, try.
All right, so he disappears. Are you guys getting back in your cages?
Mhm.
Yep.
All right, so you guys get back in your cages, and about 10 minutes later, Progi comes back, and he's got a whole lot of paper in his hands. He's
Alright.
like, "Yeah, here you go." And just gives you a whole bunch of paper.
Thank you.
Your scroll could be in there. It's a lot of stuff.
Like, how much paper are we talking right now?
About 20 pounds worth of paper.
Holy shit.
Is it a whole
Okay.
If
nother
you were a
book?
wizard, you would have just blew your load.
Oh, I'm a warlock who's pretending to be one. Can I put it into the book and try to, like, keep it? I don't fucking know how this book works.
And
Does it conform
You-
to the book?
you can try. I mean, what are you trying? Are you trying to transcribe stuff, or what are you trying to do? Because, I mean, yeah, you can transcribe stuff into the book, but you still have to do the costs and stuff. Otherwise, you could just try sticking things in the book and see what happens.
I was just trying to hold the spell scroll so that I knew where it was.
Okay, so
I was gonna
you're
stick
just
that in the
looking through the stack for the spell scroll.
Yeah.
All right, make me an investigation check.
Mm.
Jesus. Damn it, Nikita. 11.
11.
It's all 11s now.
It's natural 20s to 11s. Yeah, I mean, you spend enough time on it, but it's going to keep you late up into the night if you want to go through all that paper until you find it, because they took all the bindings off and all that stuff. So you'll take a point of exhaustion if you want to find it.
No, I'll hold off for now.
Okay, so as it gets late into the night and you
Can I
get tired,
assist him?
make me a perception check and we can see if you can spot it out of the pile. Since you're far enough away and you guys are back in your cages. Not that you couldn't just get back out of your cages, but it would really upset the frogs. 12?
Mm.
It looks like a big stack of paper. You can't quite see specifically where his scroll is. There's lots of other ones that look like they were rolled up like scrolls, but you're not sure which one's which. So
Did I find anything else of interest, or is it just blank fucking paper?
here's what I'll say. Roll again, this time with advantage, because Bropsy's trying to help you and say, oh, that one there looks like it's been rolled up. So roll again with advantage and we'll see what you can come up with.
16.
16. Okay, so with her help, you do find the scroll, your scroll,
Cool.
and you also find a couple other scrolls.
Also cool.
I have to go to. Where's my list? I had a scroll list. Where'd my scroll list go?
Did you have a scroll of scrolls?
Okay, well, I'll give you a list of them later. I guess you don't have them. You can't make sense of them right now because it's too dark. How's that?
Sure.
And I'll give you a list during the break. I have to go
Sounds
find
good.
it. But yeah, there's a couple of what looked like they were spell scrolls. The rest of them, there looks like most of it was just paper that's sort of been worn away and is a little bit yellow and mildewed. And then there's some that maybe got torn out of books. You're not sure.
Okay. If it's not a spell scroll, I'm gonna like try to get it out of the cage so it doesn't look like I've just been reading random papers.
All right, so you're just gonna chuck a whole bunch of like paper out of the cage.
Behind the cage, maybe away from the town, into the water, if that's
mean,
possible.
You
The
guys are
guard's
kind
still
of
there. You could just give it back to him. Here, I don't need this.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Alright, fine. Give them back their paper that they don't care about.
all right. So you gotta give the paper back to Prejudice. Like, I'm not sleeping on the job. Oh yeah, I'll take that back. I mean, whatever. He just
Thank you.
takes it and then he just tosses it on the ground.
Alright, well, yeah, whatever.
Well, I gotta at least watch it some of the night, or otherwise I'll get in trouble. I'll put it away later. Anyways, so does anybody want to do anything else with the rest of your night, or you want to move on to the next day?
Sleeping.
Next
Yes,
day is fine. Yep.
All right, go ahead and take your long rest. Those of you that are injured,
me.
I'm like near death.
so you guys sleep through the night. You start to dream, Arn, about your dad again, but you think that this is a bit of an embarrassing situation, and he kind of fades from view.
not today, Dad. Not today.
Not today.
Go to my room.
Anyways, so when morning comes, you are all released from the cage once again. Are you gonna pretend to be wearing your
Manacles?
manacles?
Yep.
Okay. So you got did you like hollow them out and remove the creature from inside, or?
Yeah, I think if that, like, said he tried to put hers back on with the creature still in there, and if it didn't, like, work, then yeah, she would have spent.
All right, so make me a. Is there like a craft?
I would just say, like, a general dexterity or, like, a even performance if you're trying to, like, make it look good.
Yeah, I guess give me a dexterity check. I guess.
We're back, gang! We're back on it!
What is happening? Yeah, okay, so you find out that you hollow it out and they kind of start to fall apart, so you pack it with mud. And since you've got like time and magic, you're able to make this whole thing happen pretty quick. And they're solid and they're on there and they look like they're working, but they're just hollow and full of mud.
So I'll help. I mean, I assume. I don't know. Are they gonna let us back out of our cages if I need to like help them get their manacles back on? Or I'll just tell everybody, hey, back in full of mud or whatever.
With your natural 20, we're gonna assume that everybody could just do it with you telling them what to do. We don't have to go through the minutia of it. So morning comes, and each of you is released from the cage. And upon being released, what looks like a small young adolescent blue grung runs up to you, Arn, and hands you your clothes and says, I'm supposed to bring this to the shiny man. It's the shiny man's clothes for the palace.
I'll say thank you in Grung.
Holy shit, he speaks grung. Twitches and runs away.
Are these like my clothes or just clothes they made for me?
No, those are your clothes.
Ah, perfect.
Mhm.
Definitely get out of this potato sack and put those on.
Nobody else gets their clothes, just him.
If you can convince your higher up buddy to give us our clothes and my hat back, it would be greatly appreciated, I'm sure.
Yeah, the
I'll
kids
see
think
what
it's
I can
funny
do.
to try to climb up my potato sack. He's not funny.
It's a little funny.
All right. So the day begins, and you are each sent to the same respective place as last time, except for Propsy. So, Propsy, you are taken up to the trees, but you are led down a different path to a different grung this time.
What?
As they bring you in, you find yourself surrounded by a lot of lavish goods. Like, we're talking piles of gold,
Oh,
platinum,
is it a
jewels. No. And you even see the sculptures.
dragon? Oh.
And as you look, you see that there is a mirror set up like a sort of vanity, and sitting there, just sort of like with like a like a soft stone, just sort of rubbing her head in like what looks like a silk kimono, is a very smooth skinned red grung.
Uh-huh.
She turns and she says, "Oh, hello. I'm so pleased to have your company today. Please come in." And they sort of push you inside. "Be nice to my guest." Yes, yes, ma'am. And they sort of head out. You're the only one in there with this woman.
Hello.
"Oh, you speak our tongue. How very kind of you to try to accommodate me. What an interesting creature you are."
And you.
"Oh, thank you. I heard that you were a woman, female, what have you, and I thought it might be nice to have some girl time."
Are there not a lot of female grunts?
"No."
Character.
Oh, no. No, you can't tell, mostly. Maybe there are, it's hard to tell. You can say that there are some, but
Mhm.
this is the first higher, like, class grung, female grung you've seen.
I'm just gonna ask her that.
Yeah, and so, yeah, I'm gonna go find this thing real quick. And she says, "Oh, no, and they are very poorly treated. Merely used for breeding, mostly. So they're all very... Generally, females are not of the higher colors. There are very few. Her ladyship, for instance, is a gold grung. But I am more
She's gonna
sought
tell us
after.
when she says that.
A little bit, maybe a little bitter. But she says, I, for one, am more sought after than her." And she sort of gestures around at all the riches that are in the room. "So, make yourself comfortable. Would you like some tea?"
Yes, please.
Cool. So she goes and gets you a T-bone steak
Uh.
and puts it in front of you. And slaps it down on the table. It's just a big block of meat with a T-bone in it. Uncooked. She says, "Please enjoy yourself." And you see, and you, Oh yeah, it's up to you if you eat meat or not. I don't know.
I don't
You
know
see,
if I can. I'm a fucking crow-tit.
There was a
there's no
night
reason-
at the campfire or morning where you tried to eat some sausage, and we both failed our constitution checks. But it could have just
Oh.
been sausage you didn't like. You don't like sausage.
Yeah. You
but
watch.
you did try to eat it, so.
You watch as the redskin grung lady. She takes her own T-bone steak.
Uh-huh.
It's definitely doesn't look like it's made out of cow, but it's more or less T-bone steak. And she picks it up and she raises her pinky, and then she just slides it into her mouth. And she goes, and swallows. Doesn't chew. She says, "What a delicacy." So, how are you enjoying our village so far? I know it's probably not the best considering your status, but there are sights to see.
If I was here under different circumstances, it would be wonderful to learn.
Well, perhaps you could become my chambermaid, and you'd be treated much better. You could stay here with me. We could talk about all the idiots of this town. For instance, stupid Gromley, who had your affections the first day. Gross. Ugh. Sorry excuse for a Grom.
Why do you say that?
Because he's an idiot, dear.
She just makes a face like, well, request me?
I did, yes. Fortunately, he received your company first because, well, he's a man. Of course, they get first dibs on all the shiny new things. But as you see, she gestures around. They end up giving it all back to me anyways. Might as well just bring it to me first.
So these are from all of your
Potential
Lover?
suitors,
Oh.
yes. None of them could call me a lover, but...
Of course.
Oh, you mean how many?
If you
well.
don't mind my asking.
Currently, I have a few more young up-and-comers that are after my hand as well. A few just out of the pool. Young, virile. However, I'd say nowhere short of 50 suitors. All of them red grung or better.
That's very impressive.
Yes, but they're all boring, dear. They're all so... unintelligent and just uncultured. They don't even lift their pinky when they eat their tea.
May I ask a forward question?
I suppose. But watch
Have you
yourself.
ever tried courting a female?
We're going to move on to somebody else and come back to that. That's a great part to leave that conversation.
Oh my god.
That's not where I had planned her story to go at all.
Look,
But,
it's not an opportunity. It might not work out that way, but
yeah,
If
no,
the tree taps a rockin'.
Propsy isn't a bard. She's not the most charming, so that might not work out well. But
You put Nikita with a high up, powerful woman. What did you expect?
I mean, for a grung,
Wow.
she's pretty. You could tell.
I was just saying in general. I wasn't saying specifically Propsy.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Look.
We're looking.
No,
Oh, I know
Rapsy
you
said
are.
it. Rapsy said it. It's canon.
That's canon. Okay.
What? Wait, what's canon? What part? I didn't say
All of
anything.
it. All of it.
All of it's canon.
I don't know.
You. Well, actually, is there anybody who wants to go now before we go to break, or do you want to just do it when we come back?
Well, on drugs, but now I'm scared.
think
You're
we're
going-
fine with coming
Yeah, I was like,
back.
whatever you want to do, Gabe.
Well, let's go ahead and go to break so I can go find these spell scrolls, and then when we come back, we'll do our second day as servants. So I'm somewhere. Let me find my notes. Right. So let's start with the lowest rung and move our way forward. Seti.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, lowest rung.
Mm-hmm.
As you are taken once again to the ponds, the basically the nursery of the grungs. That's where it seems that they have decided that you are supposed to go. Make me a perception check. See if you can pick anything up.
16.
16?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so while you're heading in, you see what looks like a group of green grung carrying a giant alligator
Oh.
that they have killed into town. And there is a particularly tough looking grung leading the pack. He is also a green grung, but he has like what looks like blades on his back and like two scimitars on his back that are almost the full length of his body. He is very muscular for a grung. Honestly, he's muscular for anything. It's kind of like it looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger as a fucking frog.
Okay.
It's terrifying. And he's leading the pack. He seems very like well respected. Everybody's nodding to him on his way through. But they continue to drag you down, and bring you to.
Is it obvious that like they killed this alligator themselves?
Well, they're certainly looking very proud about their accomplishment.
I'm going to shout as they pass by, like, great job! You guys really killed it out there. That is so impressive. You are doing great.
Make me a persuasion check to see if you come off well.
Or totally sarcastic.
24.
24. As you yell across it, and you hear everybody go. Okay, for a second,
clapping.
There are a couple of grungs that are like, yeah, you guys are great. And they turn, they look, and they see you, and they're like, what the fuck? And then you see the head, this like really hardened looking, green grung, whatever he may be, looks at you and nods, and they keep walking. And then they finish bringing you all your way down to the spawning pool. When you get down there, you see all the mother-like grung, and then the female servants that are watching. The babies are rolling around. The young adolescent kids are running around, causing trouble and throwing food at each other and just being stupid. A couple of them are learning to walk. A couple of them are learning to breathe air, like hold your breath underwater or something, but it's in reverse. Like the little tadpole babies are going. It's scary. It's scary. Put it in the water. Put it back in the. And they put it back in the water and they go. And then they just disappear after the thing. Like it's chaos now that you can understand them. Like even the babies are talking, and it's the worst. It was before. It was just a cacophony of croaking, and like it sounded like you were at a pond. Now it sounds like
toddlers, a million toddlers.
Just everywhere.
So, for the day, Seti will try to and still a little bit of order, like tell them to stop throwing food because that's wasteful and disrespectful to the people that made that food. Food is important and should be valued. And try to reassure the ones that are scared about breathing. And try to like talk to the other, like the grung especially that are here, and get like a sense of like what their life is like and how what their happiness.
Make me a persuasion check for the kids.
Just going full mom mode.
21.
21. They're like, meh. Fun. It's a lot of that, but they listen to what you say.
Okay. Good.
More or less, they seem to listen. And as you get them into order, you see there is a blue grung female who is sitting there at the far end, seems to be like looking over everything and like holding a baby grung. And she looks at you and she sees how well you're doing and she smiles at you.
I smile back and I wave.
And then she gestures you forward over to her.
Oh, okay. I go.
Okay. You're doing very well. You learned our tongue very quickly.
I mean, it's really important when you travel to, learn how to communicate with people really well. So that was a
Very nice.
fun word to stumble over right there.
I know that you have been put here as a slave, but thank you so much for taking such good care of our little ones.
I mean, look, they're really cute and they just need they need a firm hand. That's what I learned in school is, you just need a very firm hand and a lot of positive reinforcement. And I'm sure they will all grow to be very lovely grung folk.
You know what they say? Spare the rod, spoil the grung.
Oh, no. I don't know what...
Trust me, you should hit all grungs as they get older. They learn even less, so you have to really beat it into them, especially the men.
But do you think maybe they're not very good learners because they've been beaten so much? Like they have concussions and stuff?
Oh, trust me, it's a pre-existing condition.
Well, I'm sure you're right. I'm not one to argue. I try to respect everything that's happening here. But it seems to me that being threatened with violence constantly is not a very healthy way to grow up.
Oh, trust me. When I say the rod, sometimes I never hit these children. But as they get older, they deserve a nice kick in the tuchus.
Well, it's true. I've met my fair share of people that deserve a nice kick anywhere,
Anyways,
really.
it is nice to meet you, young one.
I'm Seti.
Nice to meet you. I'm the Pond Mother.
Oh, that's a lovely title.
Yes, it was given to me as I was trained by the previous Pond Mother, and so on and so forth.
So
For centuries.
you oversee the raising of
It is my purpose.
like millions of grung?
Well, not that many are born. Not that many survive. We're probably only a few, maybe 500 grung total in the village.
Oh.
But, you know.
Life seems really hard out here.
It's a bit rough. We're the smallest creatures in this entire forest, but we're also some of the toughest.
I did see a pack of the green grung that killed a big alligator coming back. That's really, really impressive.
The hunters. I assume you had your eye on Grubja.
Is he the really handsome one?
He's a green grung, but he can take me should he please.
Oh. So, you have a crush on him?
Oh, he wouldn't go for an old grung like me.
Oh, nonsense! You're lovely.
Thank you. You're too kind. Also blind as a bat. But I will say, when it comes to strength agility, cunning, and intelligence. Krubja is, well, let's just say, if he wasn't a green grong, he'd probably be running this place.
Wow, that is impressive. And he would be lucky to have you.
Oh, well. The pond mothers are never to take mates themselves, so.
Oh, really?
No,
But
it is our duty to look after the young ones and make sure that they are well looked after and treated equally.
so you've never had like a boyfriend or anything?
When in my younger rebellious days, of course, I stepped out
Okay.
a bit from my training, but, well,
Is
let's
this
just say I still followed my destiny in the end.
is this all this system stuff? Is it worth it to you? Like that you can't have both?
Oh, well, I get to look after all these children. If I were to have my own, I would no longer be able to be pond mother, for I would treat my own child. Well, first of all, I would know it was mine. The importance of the pond, I'm sure you're not familiar with our culture, is that children are born and then they are brought here, and they become what they become, and then they are readopted after their color is determined. It is to save families from the embarrassment of, let's say, a pair of red grung giving birth to a green. They always receive a red grung back. It's to make it so the child is not, well,
So they
put
like
down.
get to pick and choose who their kid is, and they don't love their kid if it's not good enough for them?
Well, as far as they know, it is their kid. It is the way of things for grung.
It's not
But
not a
if you look
nice.
out here, notice they're all green. See that one there? He's getting close to adolescence. You can see he's got a bit of color at the tip of his tail, just a hint of blue. So we know what he will become. We know that once it's determined he'll truly be a blue grung, well, he'll be adopted by a blue grung family.
But like you said about, I'm sorry, I forgot his name. I was so distracted thinking about all the muscles.
Krubja.
Right. But like you said, he's really smart and strong and stuff, but he's green. Like color doesn't mean anything.
Can I tell you a little secret?
Of course.
Krubja was actually born of the previous sovereign.
Oh,
A sovereign who actually made his way to the top. Granted, he was a gold grung, but he made his way to the top with his ferocity.
what about the current sovereign? He didn't do that too?
No? You see, he merely made it there by the color alone.
Oh, see,
It's a
that's
strange
not.
society we live in, but
Yeah, like he should be a good leader. You want to be led by somebody that's capable, not just somebody because they're pretty and
listen,
shiny or
you
whatever.
can't tell the secret, though. They would have him killed.
Of course.
found out
I
that he
would
was
not
actually
want that at all. He should not be killed for something like that. He didn't
good.
choose who his parents were.
Too hot to die.
But, you know, he's a good grung. And he respects the caste system here more than anyone. He knows his place, and he does his job well. It's just... well,
But I don't know any other society. I mean, granted, I haven't been out much. I grew up in a place kind of like this where there's like nobody ever leaves and it's just very small and we have our ways. But I don't know of too many other places that have something like this. Like people should lead on merit and, get to love their child no matter who they are. And
make a persuasion check.
and it
Oh,
really
no.
and it really doesn't have to be that way.
Oof.
You talk about a lot of things you don't understand.
I know.
Don't forget, hold your tongue around certain people you might be.
Right, I'm so sorry. I don't mean to. I'm trying to learn. and I really appreciate
Well,
the
that's good.
conversation and the opportunity to talk to you, revered Pond Mother.
It was nice speaking to you as well. Go back to your duties.
Of course.
Oof. That's going so well. But rolls are rolls.
That's why I hate rolls.
We're gonna end up in a bloodbath.
I make good talk, damn it.
Okay, they're just bringing all the kids to their side. That's the easy pickings.
Yeah, so like, I mean, if the kids can talk, I guess the rest, like, I'm just talking. I mean, and I'll try to do it on the down low, so like the other Grung can't hear me. I don't know how many are like close by, but like, if when I'm working with the kids or whatever, I'll just be like, and it doesn't matter what color you are because you are valuable and you have no talents. You cut out.
I'm gonna be a gold grunt.
That you might, and that would be very exciting. But it doesn't.
I'm gonna be a gold grunt, and I'm gonna make you show me your boobies.
Oh, that's not nice. You can't make anybody
Hold
do
up,
that.
hold up. Do Grung have boobs?
Apparently, or they're just really fascinated because they've never seen them before.
Yep, something.
I knew it. I've been around kids. There was a toddler I used to babysit that thought it was really funny to pull shirts down so he could see your bra. But
Yep.
Okay.
Kids are little
Right.
demons.
They are. But the problem is because everybody freaks out when he did it, then he knew it was like funny because everybody freaked out. It got a reaction. So like Seti's just like, okay, that's whatever.
Oh, so how do you like? How does everybody else react when he flips up your potato sack?
What here and how do they? Seti's just like trying to like be like,
I'll just start laughing and running.
yeah. So exactly. All right, not a big deal.
It's okay. You all saw my vagina. It's fine.
Everybody has a body. Mine is a little different from yours. That's, it's totally normal. And it's normal to be curious, but it's more polite to just ask questions, all right? Now.
Welcome to biology with SETI.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and make a persuasion check with advantage.
15.
15? The kids are definitely interested. They listen. They're like, that's weird. And like, I don't know what you're talking about.
So I'll like teach them a little bit about like other people and like, some people have horns and some people
they
have
learn
wings.
a little bit, and you seem to influence them into.
And and it doesn't matter what color you are.
They don't pick up on that. Okay, so that's how you spend your day.
Yeah.
And then we will go over to Mitnir. So Mitnir, you this time are brought to a particularly strong-looking grung. He is blue, but he actually has spots on his body that are bright red. It's very interesting to look at it. It's not just like little dots. Some of them actually look like around his face it looks like little dots, but a lot of them look like large lines or are almost like tattoos, like almost intentional, like tribal tattoos around his body that are like bright red. As you approach, he looks at you and goes, "Ah, there. I suppose you're the one that's supposed to be working with me today. They say you got quite the hammer swing."
Is he in Grung or is he using common?
He's speaking in Grung.
I mean, I know how to hit stuff, just responding in Grung.
Well, that's one part of being a blacksmith, but well, I guess it'll do. Get on swinging. So he's just gonna have you start swinging the hammer like you did last time.
Just like, and then I'm like, all right, just go for it.
So you start pounding metal. You watch as he turns over the stuff, and he looks like an old grung, like pretty old fella. And he's just like scratching his chin, and he's turning the metal over as you continue heating it. and then just moving it back into the fire, and then moving and turning it and turning it. And even as you make the hammer swing, he's got his face like this, but you see little micro movements as the hammer comes down each time. Like he's positioning it. And as you watch, it's forming into a sword. Like you feel like, oh my God, am I good at smithing? Like you're just like bam, bam, bam. And every time the hammer comes down, you watch the sparks fly and the shape just continuously pounding out. So he just keeps moving it. And then he, as the sword goes into the water, he pulls it out. It's obviously it's the raw blade, but it looks like the other grungs were not putting together anything this nice. It was nothing nearly this interesting. And he says, "All right, well, that's the first part. Part number 2, get turning that wheel." And there's a crank on a wet stone wheel. And he says, "Y'all get turning there." He puts the blade on. And
How long have you been doing this as I start to turn the wheel?
whole life, mostly. Blue grung. Learned when I was young. It's just, unlike the others, I took a bit more pride in my work. Get turning that wheel, boy.
Start speeding up.
All right, thank you much. You got a lot to learn, but I feel like you'll make a good blacksmith apprentice, if you so choose. You see as he starts polishing and sharpening the blade. It's turning out fairly nice.
So what about all the rest of the ones here? They're all potentially as
To
skilled as
most
you are?
grungs around this part, spear, sword, and axe, what have you, it's all just something pointy that you point someone else and you smack them with. They're not artisans, not most of them. There's a few, couple good, there's an architect or two that are pretty nice. Look up at those buildings up there; those don't happen for nothing.
I hadn't thought about that.
And quite a bit of a feat to build those in trees like that. I mean, sure, you see elves doing it and the like, but we're grung. We're 3 feet tall. It's a feat of nature for us to be able to put something like that. Architectural genius, I'd say, that fella. But me, my skill is in blacksmithing, and I make some shiny ass shit. I'll tell you what. Just wish it was actually used by people who actually cared about a blade. Instead, I've just been sending them off to these idiots up top. Well, don't say a word about that, though.
Of course not. No. What if they were going into the hands of people who wanted to use them?
Well, personally, I'd really like for the blade to be in the hands of someone like Krubja, or really, if I had my pick. Oh man, I'm on the wrong page. Give me it there. I'd like it to be in the hands of Sungba or any of the other samurai frogs that guard the king. Sorry.
What about outside of that?
Look, I get what you're saying, but
I mean, it's
unfortunately,
it's turning into a really nice blade.
You cast a pretty sad, pretty sad die in life. Your lot's not great, but I can't be handing you out a sword.
Oh no, I didn't mean for me. I know who has mine.
All right. Well, it's very impressive that you think you're going to be getting it back. Anyways, now we're on to the next bit. And so he takes you over and he says, he's got you. He's like, now you're going to turn that there device, and as you do that, and it actually creates electricity. It's basically you turn another crank and it creates electricity, and then he uses that to basically create something similar to a soldering iron. And then he starts creating inlays within the metal, and designs and runes and stuff that just stick to the blade. He's making something very pretty. And as he's working, he's like, "So, what's your name, kid?"
Mitnir.
Midnier. That's a stupid ass name. My name's Bugbog.
Just stops cranking for a second, just like stares at him. Starts cranking again.
Well, holds the blade up. You can come back around again. Do a decent job.
I want to say that looks like it rivals some of the dwarven work I've seen.
Dwarves. Only difference between a good dwarf smith and a good grung smith is a beard.
I mean, that and, well, they sell their wares to more than their village.
You think we don't sell wares?
I mean,
Trust me, you got a lot to learn about this village. Yeah, we seem isolated, but it's mostly because most people stay away. They know better than mess with the grung. Trust me. We do slave trading. We do weapons trading. We do all kinds of trading. It's just not something we deal with directly down here on the ground. Trust me. You get to Selindor, you see a whole lot of.
maybe tomorrow you can teach me more about how you did that.
Yeah, I suppose I could. But for today, and just keep working. Go ahead and make me a. Just go ahead and make me a. I guess just like a persuasion check is fine.
Oof.
What'd you roll?
A 6.
Yeah. He seems to like you okay. But you definitely haven't made any headway with him. If you're trying to sway him one way or another. Cool. So, Greed.
Yep.
Once again, you are brought to your individual.
I need to reconnect to Discord real quick, so things are
Okay.
going to get wonky for a sec.
Sounds good. So you go back to your guy. Did I tell you a name for him?
I don't believe so, no.
Okay. Well, his name is Sessigert.
Sessigert?
Sessigert.
Okay.
And as you go back to him, he says, "Hello. Welcome back. I have something for you. Get changed." And he hands you your clothes.
Oh. Perfect. I do so.
I wanted to make sure you looked the part. If you're going to be with me, then you need to be, well, better dressed than the other slaves.
I
I
appreciate
keep doing this like they're looking down at you, but that would mean doing a back bend.
Is my hat included?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. Aesthetics are important.
Yeah. He says, anyways, we have more meetings today. Get ready for that. Actually, are you speaking to him in Grung? Or are you, because you haven't said anything. He's speaking to you in common, so.
I would just respond in common or whatever he's talking to me in.
He's speaking to you in common.
Then yeah.
He says, anyways, another day of it. Try and keep track of what's going on. I know it'll be difficult, but keep an eye on a few of these old fools.
Anyone in particular I should be looking out for?
Most of them don't speak common, I'll tell you when we're in there. It'll be easier to point them out than describe them.
Very well.
So he brings you back into the war room, and as they do, you see them kind of like, it's a secret. Welcome back. Look at you old coot. And then you see another one just say, no, don't be talking like that. He's a fair old man, just like the rest of us. And there's another one that sits there and says, "Can we all just get back to business, please? There's much to do, much to do." We don't do shit. Keep your shit together, I tell you, Freblin. You try so hard to be important, but at the end of the day, you're still just a purple grung. Sure, but you're just a red grung. Yeah, I'm just a red grung. Bitch, ain't it? And as you sit down, you hear Sesgert say, Now, all of you. We do have a bit to discuss today. For instance, the training." And they start talking. Now that you can understand what they're saying, here's kind of what you pick up on. Your master, Sesgert, is basically the training captain, right? He is in charge of getting the guard and the soldiers trained. Across the way, there is General Faustig, who is a maroon-colored grung. Like, he looks mostly red, but he's kind of got like a bit of purple to him. And he's the old, yeah, whatever one, who seems to be talking down to Freblin, who is very aristocratic. He doesn't seem to know much about anything that's happening there militaristically. And he's kind of squirrely, but you see that he's very, very proud of his position there. Even though, like, he's a purple grung, so he's above some of the other ones. He's like, he worked really hard to get to this position, you can tell. There is another individual there who is a purple grung, who talks in a very eloquently, and sometimes when you speak with Sesgert in common, this one seems to listen to your conversation. He mostly doesn't talk and just sits there and takes notes. When he does talk, though, it is very, yes, of course, very like smooth and eloquent. And then there is a particularly strong-looking grung. My description of the grung hunter, this guy is even more intimidating looking. He is a red grung, and he is Field Marshal Bragag. He is you can tell when he speaks, everyone quiets down. But he mostly just sits there and listens. But each time he's talked, just everyone quiets down to listen to his input. But that's the overview of the council.
Okay, and they're just talking about just general training of the guards and things, nothing.
Well, so they're talking about it's a lot of nonsense and they talk over each other a lot. Go ahead and make me a perception check to see if you pick up on anything other than just like the minutia.
7.
7. No, it's like they're talking over each other so much, and there's more than just these important grung there talking over each other. There's more grungs there, but these are the ones that seem more important than the others, the more talkative ones. There's some older looking grunts. One of them looks ancient. They're just sitting there listening. But a lot of them are just like talking over each other and don't seem to be as important or as well respected.
Okay, so this is probably stupid. I'm going to try to speak telepathically to the eloquent one that you didn't give a name for, the purple one.
Yeah, his name hasn't come up. They haven't addressed him really.
Okay, then I'm going to just say, is it always so chaotic in here? You're able to keep track of all this?
He looks at you directly. knowing it came from you, and responds in kind. Well, of course. It's my job as Grand Archivist to keep track of this riffraff. Very
Grand
interesting ability
Archivist.
you have there. An uncommon one.
I can see I am in like company, though.
Well, not exactly like. Found something very dark in you. I wonder what hides within that tome of yours. Mine, on the other hand. And you see he flips through the pages on the table. It's a very interesting read. Well, if you're very bored.
I would love to compare notes sometimes.
Trust me, the history of the Grong and this village are quite boring. The last war we had was before my time. The only reason I come to any of this is so that I can hopefully stir some of these old fools into doing something, so I have something to write about. Hate to be the only archivist in the past century with nothing to contribute except, oh, look, we learned how to eat steaks and call them tea with lifted fingers. Honestly, I think it's wrong. I don't think that's how you're supposed to do it at all. I think it's some sort of beverage. But, well, once Lady Gribbaboo started doing it, it's hard to tell her no. So instead, I get to write down in a book that we've embarrassed ourselves as a community.
I do think that at some point we should go over what tea actually is. It's quite delicious. But nonetheless, what are you trying to stir them into doing? Just anything?
A campaign. Honestly, a war would be interesting. Something. Maybe technological advancement. Something of interest. But looking at what these villages have done, it's... In my time, we've mostly just captured slaves and brought them here, let them rot because they can't be taken care of properly, sold them off to some other people. And that's about it. We do some fair trade with Selindor, and that's about all we do. We fester, we inbreed. It's boring.
Have you thought of what things might be like? How grand of a book you could write? If there were changes? Slaves instead became workers? They made their own food? They prepared themselves?
When you call it that way, I mean, it's not like there's some sort of real commerce here. We sell things and we do trade in Selindor, but we don't actually get money or anything of the like. To us, that's just a shiny thing. Mostly what we do is trading of goods. So, yes, I mean, we could treat servants better and not call them slaves. That would be something, I guess, but really just a small footnote. I mean, basically, you're treated the same as Green Grung.
And if it were so that Green Grung were treated as well as some here?
They'd never have it. It'd be boring, honestly. I mean, at least the superiority complex that everyone around here has keeps them doing something. I don't even know what we'd do if we couldn't belittle each other.
You could build each other up, you said yourself. Technological advancements and just more interesting things.
Maybe a persuasion check.
I'm back, Sim. You can change the scene.
I'm supposed to be good at this. 7.
Roll 2.
Could have sworn I did
Yep.
change it.
Wow. 7777 is what you rolled.
Yeah.
He says, "You'll never convince anyone on this council to go along with such a thing. Trust me. It's a waste of your own time. Should you be capable of doing something like that, maybe I'll be interested to listen. But if you can't turn anyone else on the council, sorry. I'm not your man either."
Is there anyone here that you think might be worth talking to about that kind of thing?
Well, if you want to turn everyone here, then there's one that you must turn. And to do such would be the greatest feat, if anything, that could be done. But Field Marshal Bragg, well, if you could sway him, trust me, many in this village would follow. But Bragg is not one for a sugar tongue. He respects strength, and only strength. In fact, the only person I've seen him show even the slightest bit of interest in is that hunter fellow. Well, then of course, there's also Sungba, but those two clashed once many years ago, and ever since then it's been... I will say that is the most interesting thing that has happened. I've got a bit of a read on it if you want to see.
By all means.
So
If there's...
he'll give you the like he's gonna start reading in his mind for you to hear. But basically, it's just the story of how Field Marshal, how the legendary Field Marshal held to the highest esteem as the strongest grung in the village, challenged to a duel. The direct servant guard of the retired king, like the retired shinobi, or not shinobi, samurai, Sungba, and they fought, and it was epic, and there was no victor. Like it's he tried to make it sound like in his writing like it was something that was really impressive and awesome, but it was really boring. So you get a pretty good idea about the council, and you listen to them for the rest of the day and hear stories from the archivist. Ooh. So you get all that, and that's pretty much how you spend your day. Great.
Okay.
Aaron, you are once again returned to Prince Grumlin, who greets you in your new outfit with harsh words and much slapping, and brings you inside and then sits you down and says, "Welcome. Sorry, once again, appearances and all. I have to hit you. I really don't want to, but it's just necessary."
Sorry, were you talking to me?
Yes. You're at the prince's chambers.
My audio on Discord is a robot, so I have to listen on stream instead.
Oh boy. Wow.
So I'm going to be a little behind.
Well, that's no good. I don't know what to do with that. I guess anyways, he brought you in, and you're he says, "So, I see you've received your clothing."
Yes, I did. Thank you for the clothing.
I'm glad things are a bit more comfortable. I hope everything's going well. A request has actually been sent in from a few of the guards saying that you're so well behaved that you should be moved to regular servants' quarters soon. I'm, of course, ready to approve that, but you will make sure that the others will behave, correct?
Yes, I'll definitely make sure they behave.
Good, good.
I feel like the better they're treated, the better they'll behave.
Oh, well, I mean, yes, of course. Simple enough. I'm sure everyone will be treated with the utmost care that we can afford to give, again, appearances and all. But yeah. Is there any way that I can help improve that? I mean, I can't stop them from being servants, unfortunately. It's just I don't have that kind of influence.
Is it possible to have their clothes returned?
I can. They would have to wear something to mark them as servants still. I think it probably they'd have to wear their bands, their bonds, just so that everyone can see that they're still servants. Those have to be shown, so not covered in sleeves, but or they'll be stopped regularly. But yeah, it should be doable.
I think that would go a long way.
Good. So I will have all of their clothing returned, and then you are to make sure that they behave, and then we shall have them brought into regular servant quarters. So, did anything fun happen recently? I'm always cooped up here in the palace. Any news? I mean, you told me of your previous adventure, but anything new? Any cool things?
Well,
Have you
I
heard
mean,
about
we've
communism?
kind of been sitting in a cage, so
Right, of course. Well, you'll
not
be
a
a regular
whole lot
servant quarter
new
soon.
going on.
But yes.
Now, how do you feel about maybe running things here?
I've had that thought, of course. I'd love to run things differently than they are. Place is dreadful. The way people are treated is dreadful. My own brother, he was not a gold grung. I haven't seen him since. I mean, that's a travesty.
You're aware of his birthing?
Oh yes, I've always been. I've always had a very strong memory, and I remember when we were first put together into the breeding pool that he was my brother, and I kept him close, and we were raised together for the first couple of years, and then honestly, he could be one of my servants, and I'd never know. Ever since then, I've been.
Do you know what color he became?
You know, it's funny. I remember so many things, but for some reason, no, I can't remember what color he was. I just know that I never saw him again.
What kind of support do you think you would have?
Honestly, not much. I'm not strong, I'm not powerful, I'm not violent or vicious. The only thing that I really have is, well, have Snigba, the great caster, greatest wizard in all the Grong lands. The whole swamp, possibly even the Lurkwood. He's my confidant. Good friend. actually tried teaching me a little bit of magic. I think he's taught me a lot, and he's even seems to prefer that I ascend to the throne sooner rather than later, hopefully before he dies, he says. But, well, I just don't have the strength to do it.
Well, my friends and I would be willing to help you with that.
No offense, but servants murdering monarchs, I don't think is the right way for me to, especially outsiders killing monarchs. Doesn't seem the right way for me to become the leader of the Krong.
Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be us that
Have you heard of
hurts the
democracy?
monarchs. We might have a bit of influence throughout the village.
Look,
We could
if
possibly get some more support in your favor.
make me a persuasion check. Everybody is persuading for the weekend.
And some of us are better at it than others.
And those that are good suck today.
Oh, wow. There's a big old 10.
We did great against the guards.
We're all failing today, guys.
If you can get enough support, I'd be more than happy to step up. But in our civilization, a new sovereign is not ascended to the throne without the old sovereign passing. Most of that happens because the next in line murders their father, or he just says, well, if you can get enough support and I mean something happens to the sovereign, sorry, his grung ship, then well, yes, sure. We can I'd love to step up to the throne and change things, but I can't condone murdering my father. He raised me.
Well, I'll let the interested parties know you're willing, and we'll just see what happens.
Well, but as for today, I got this very fancy new thing. Would you like to play? And he brings out shogi. Japanese
What is
chess.
this?
It's just Japanese chess. So he pulls it out and sets it up, and basically he just wants to play chess with you.
You'll have to teach me the rules, but sure, we can play.
Well, the DM doesn't know the rules, so we'll just skip all that.
Table flip.
Meanwhile, you spend your day doing that. Bropsy, we return to you.
Oh boy, okay.
I need you to go ahead and make me a persuasion check.
To be clear, when I said that, I was not necessarily insinuating things. I was just asking a question. What am I rolling?
It's just I want to see what her reaction to that is.
Okay, what am I rolling?
Persuasion. Everybody's just rolling persuasion. We've had persuasion. 10.
And we're all good at rolling repeat numbers.
Yeah, it's just over. We've just been getting the same numbers over and over and over again. She looks at you and at first she's just like, she's kind of like doesn't react. She just kind of doesn't understand. And then she quirks her head to the side a bit and she says, interesting.
I don't
Anyway.
know how it works in your culture, but among others, sex and gender are not always relevant and perhaps offer different dynamics.
I mean, I've never really thought about it like that before.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I don't know. I guess more interesting than the men around here. But then again, I don't really know any interesting females either. Quite tawdry. Well, most of them. But of course, the only one that's even remotely interesting, well, very, very, very taken. I don't know. The whole thing's just silly.
Why is it silly?
Well, it's just silly. Excuse me, I have to go powder my nose. Goes behind a curtain, and you kind of you can tell that she's kind of blushing. She's not. You can't tell if she was like into the idea really or not, or if she was just intrigued by the concept because she's definitely didn't seem to have ever heard of such a thing before.
Okay.
So she leaves you there for like a good 20 minutes. Just
Oh boy. Okay.
you're just sitting in there. You're just
I'm
sitting
just
in
gonna
there.
observe all the toys she has in her room then.
A lot of it's your guys' stuff.
Okay.
Like a lot of it, your shield's there. Like the beaded necklace is there.
Oh shit.
Um,
Want that.
Cleary's ring of jumping is there.
She has a lot of shit, right? How hard would it be for me to pocket like the beads?
Well, you don't have any pockets. You'd have to kind of
Oh,
just like
right.
stick them into your feathers or like under your potato sack. So if you want to do that, you can make me a sleight of hand check.
No, I'm not gonna sleight of hand it. But do I think she would get mad at me for touching it?
Make an insight check with disadvantage because you really don't know her and she's not there in front of you.
Okay.
9? It's hard to say.
Okay.
Again, you just don't.
I'll wait then until she comes back.
Okay, so after about half an hour, she comes back from around and she says, Oh dear, I'm so sorry. I got very distracted. Struck a time. Do you want some more tea? Or
Oh, I'm alright. I don't eat very much.
oh, yes, you barely touched it. You haven't touched it, have you?
No, really. No.
She says, well, anyways, there's a bit of a get-together with some of the more important grungs. I'll be hosting, of course, and that's tomorrow. I'd like you to be my guest.
I would love to.
Good. More than happy to see you there. Anyways, tell me about yourself and everything that's ever happened to you in your entire life.
Funny you should say that. See, a long time ago, before I came here, I had a family.
Oh, my
had a
dear, I'm
wife.
so sorry. Did you... Are they...
I don't know.
Well, you can fly, right?
I can, yes.
There's nothing stopping you from just flying away.
Unfortunately,
to
even
them.
my wings can't take me there.
She looks like heartbroken. If there's anything I can do, please let me know. I'd like to think of you as a friend. I hope you can think of me the same way.
Oh, I would love to call you my friend.
I'm so sorry to hear that, but if there's anything I can do, please just, well, not sorry that you're a friend, the other thing. If there's anything I can do, just let me know, and yes. Well, this has been a whirlwind of a day. What conversation? Of
May I ask you something?
course, dear.
Do you know what most of these things are? And I gestured all over toys.
Oh, well, they're all just shiny things men give me because, well, I'm me.
How about this one? And I'll touch the pair of beads.
Oh, it's a necklace. I have several.
This one was mine.
Oh, my dear, I'm so sorry. Take it.
Are you sure?
Oh, yes. It's not even very pretty.
Thank you.
Of course.
Put it on real quick. Where she
Keep it a
changed
little
her mind.
secret. Keep it under those feathers of yours. You don't want anyone to see you have something valuable.
Thank you.
It is valuable, right? I assume so. It was given to me.
God. So
Half the room is fake items.
tell me about this party you're having tomorrow.
Oh, let me tell you everything. And that's how you spend the rest of your day.
I mean, I was hoping to get more information than that, but all right.
She tells
I
you
know.
about the decorations and how much tea there's going to be. She said that they brought back a new giant alligator, so there's going to be lots of tea at the party.
But I wanted to ask if her crush was gonna be there.
If surreptitiously, if you want to do that, make me a stealth check if you want to slip that in the
Stealth,
conversation. Because
God.
if you say it outright, she's just going to clam up. So if you want to try to slip it in the conversation, make me a stealth check. I know that's not what that's
guys,
for.
blow on the dice. Give me that good juju. Nobody blew. I'm disappointed.
Such a weird thing to make you roll. 16. So yeah, you slip it in there, and she says, "Well, of course, her ladyship will be there." And that's what you get. So you all, instead of being returned to your place in the middle of a swamp in cages, they actually bring you to a longhouse. And inside you see lots and lots of different races. Most of them are just milling about. You actually see one you recognize from the loggers who disappeared first while you were on the pass. He doesn't seem to really respond to you guys or anything or perk up. He just looks miserable. Cleary's there when you get back, and he says, oh, hello, everyone. I hope everything is well. He doesn't even know about the revolution or anything, so he's just he's just there being all bummed. But you're all together, you're all in your longhouse, and as you arrive, they say, it has been approved that each of you will receive your clothes back. Yeah, man, like, you guys all got your clothes. It's super cool, man. Like,
Oh, thank God.
yeah, like, that's so special. All the servants are wearing potato sacks. It's super cool. You guys are getting those, man. And I don't have to do night shift watching cages because you're all in the longhouse now. So be good.
We will thank you so much. I hope you take care out there, all right?
Oh, yeah, man. Me and Mitt are going to go get plastered tonight. You guys want to come?
Yes.
Oh, sweet. I'll buy. Because, you don't have any money. Also, we don't have money, but I'm gonna give them some bugs.
Is there like a? I mean, is like who all is going to be there? Is this like a big party?
Oh no, man! It's just a bunch of grungs getting plastered.
Okay, it sounds
So
like
you can
fun.
come if you want, but you know, it usually just turns into like weird, like slimy rolling around.
Ew.
Fighting or
No, we don't really fight. We mostly play Twister.
okay. I don't know what that
It's a
is, but
game where you've got colored dots that you paint on the floor, and you spin a little thing that points at other colored dots,
okay, I got it.
and then you crawl over each other, and it's fun, and it's a good icebreaker, and sometimes you touch people inappropriately and you laugh, and you fall down and you go, oh no, I fell down and I touched you in weird ways, and it's a good way to find a mate. I've been going for a while. I'm still single.
Oh, maybe you need a good wingman.
Maybe I should stop going with Mitt.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, Mitt's pretty
She's gonna look at her wings.
anyways, yeah, enjoy not being in cages anymore.
We will. Thank you so much.
I'll wear my gloves next time I bring you food. And he just reaches down into his like little pack and comes back with leaves on his fingers.
That's so sweet. Thank you so much.
Yeah, gloves are great.
Yeah, they are. You're pretty great too. You know
Look at that guy. I fed him not poisoned food. Look how much he's perking up.
Oh. Yeah. How many other people are in here?
The other guy he's pointing to is like this. Yeah, look at him go.
I don't think cure wounds works on the poison, unfortunately.
Wait, what?
I don't think I can cure anybody's poisoned.
I have protection.
Protection from poison?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that would help. I mean,
Does that cure poison?
I think it does. I would say. in the
Specifically though,
description.
for the condition that these people are in.
Restoration.
Yeah.
What? I can't cure the poison?
You can cure the poison, but it's
They
kind of-
also have like long-term damage from being poisoned for
right.
long, maybe. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
They're kind of kaputted. They need restoration to be okay. Again, it specifically says that in the lore of the creatures. So
well. So, do we also have our shackles on? Or did they take those
I mean,
off?
yeah, you have your shackles
Okay.
on.
Oh, right.
Everybody
They
has
said,
to wear
yeah,
their
okay,
shackles.
gotcha. Right. So, Betty is going to get dressed.
Okay, so you're the only one getting dressed.
No, I'm gonna get
Well,
just
I'm gonna
chuck
get
the
rest.
tail. It's not like out the door.
Is this
Oh,
now
yeah.
a long
I'll start
rest? Can I
rest.
change my spell?
I mean, in a second. Well, at the end of the session, just in 10
Okay.
minutes, you can take a long rest. In the meantime, I guess Mitnir runs out the door to go drinking with Prudgy. Is anybody else going drinking with Prudgy?
I mean, do we have more or less free reign to do some wandering?
You've been told as long as you behave,
Mm-hmm.
like you are now servants, not slaves. Like in treatment, you're not kept in cages. You're kept in the longhouse. That's where you sleep. But as long as you're not trying to run away or nothing.
Yeah, I will go check out this party thing that's happening.
It's not a party. It's literally just like a bunch of grungs getting drunk and playing Twister, and they're all dudes.
Okay. Are they all green?
There's a couple of blue ones there too, but like there's nobody above that. Like it's a
Okay.
pretty low class dive.
And the hunters aren't there.
Oh, you know what? I would say probably, yeah.
Is Grubja there?
I would say Krebja's there. Yeah.
Okay, I will hang out and try to go talk to Krabja.
Oh my god. Krebja's like sitting there at the bar, just laid back, muscular ass green frog, like Kermit the Frog on damn steroids. He's leaning back. He's got a swords. He doesn't have his swords on him right now. He's just bare chest and froggy, and still 3 feet tall. And so he's sitting there, and he's got like a flagon of some sort of liquid that's just like, you don't know if it's beer, if it's liquor. It smells just strong though.
Mhm.
And you see like he's just sitting there, and he's just like, and he pours it on top of his head.
Are they all doing that? That's how they get.
Some of them are drinking it. That was just, frogs can absorb things through their
They
skin.
can,
So
yes.
he just pours it over himself, and he just goes.
Now his
And
muscles
he's
are all
like-
glistening.
His muscles are all glistening, and he's just like, yeah.
Can I try to find tea leaves or anything that could resemble tea so that I can get these frogs some proper tea?
Make me a investigation. Well, yeah, I guess if
Did
you're
that upset you that they were
Make-
butchering tea?
make me a survival check.
As
That's
an
the one.
avid tea drinker, yes.
Make me a survival.
Maybe you're doing
19.
it wrong.
19. You know what?
Yes, that's definitely
You
what's up.
find a whole lot of plants. Most of them are poisonous, but you find what looks like jasmine flower. And so you think you could probably make some jasmine tea, and you also find some goji berries, but they're full on goji berries. You'd have to dry them to use them for tea. And then you
Right.
also find some mushrooms that are edible, and based on their smell, they sort of have like a sourness to them, as opposed to the umami that you usually get from mushrooms. Kind of like smells like citrusy.
I'm gonna grab everything that's not poisonous and try to experiment later.
Okay, cool. All right. Does anybody else want to do anything specifically? You show up and Prudgy's like, "Oh, hey, Mitnir, right? Let's get crazy! I'm spinning that wheel, baby!"
We seem to have some issues.
Oh, did everybody freeze?
Not
No.
everybody, just,
Just Mood was
Mood.
frozen. I thought Mood was just staring at me.
Like,
I was so-
disapproving of the bullshit that's happening. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Not only
Get
is
crazy with the 40.
Mood frozen, but he doesn't even seem to.
We're having some major issues tonight. I don't know what's wrong.
Yeah, Discord is really having a rough time, guys.
But he'll either be back or he won't.
Yeah, well, we'll just say that happens, and Mitnir can react however he wants when we return next week, and we continue Le Revolution.